following podcast contains references to the consumption of alcohol. If you are not of legal drinking age, please do not consume alcohol. Also, if you are of legal drinking age, please drink responsibly.
Welcome to Rhetorical Magic Cocktail Hour. My name is Ryan, and my favorite spooky story is Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe.
And I'm Matthew, and my favorite spooky story is The Mask of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe.
Ho ho ho, how exciting.
And I didn't just open up a book and pick it out at random.
So this is a podcast that Matthew and I decided to do back in... we started the podcast in 2019 with one goal, technically two, I guess, which is to have a drink and try to be succinct about various topics.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking tonight, Matthew?
So as we all know, it is Shandy Boy Summer. Therefore, I am drinking a Shandy.
I would like to inform the audience that this week I am also partaking in Shandy Boy Summer because this episode is coming out in June, which means it's summer, and it means we have double Shandy Boys over here.
Oh my god, you heard it here first, folks. Double Shandy Boys. And it's a glorious day.
Double Shandy Boys, double boys. We're all just double Shandy, double boys, all good, all day. It's summer.
Summertime, summer Shandy, summer.
Friendship.
Is the best time. Yes.
I love Shandy. I really do. It's such just a good-ass drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like the Shandy Boy might come off as a joke sometimes, but I genuinely enjoy them.
It's just... It is very summery and very... refreshing for a beer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also drinking Leinenkugel.
Of course,
which
you gotta.
I think, in my eyes, is the only place that does a shandy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know of any other. I mean...
But it's delicious. It's like if an Arnold Palmer took out the tea and just put beer in, and I'm like, that's genius.
Mm-hmm. That does remind me. The other night, I did try an Arnold Palmer with a Shandy, and it was what you call a bad.
Did you just pour Shandy into iced tea, or did you, make an iced tea and lemonade and then also pour Shandy in it?
Half Shandy, half tea. All bad.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me, bud.
But I did
That checks out that wouldn't be good.
Yeah. But I did it, and that's what matters. But yeah, Shandy Boy Summer.
It is Shandy Boy Summer.
I feel like this is a good time to reiterate. Shandy Boy is a non-gendered term. Mm-hmm. Anybody can be a Shandy Boy. Men, women, non-binary. Everybody's Shandy Boys. If you partake in Shandies. And it's summer. It
is. Shandy Boy Summer is just... It's a way of life. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It's positive, which is good. I think for this episode, we need to start out with that very good positive.
Yeah, because
this topic is... It's heavy, and this shit is haunted, bro. We have mentioned previously about the curse of Zach Bagans' Demon House, and we decided that this is we just need to get our experience out there. Mm-hmm. And let people know the truth of Demon House, which is that shit's haunted, bro.
It is.
So I think, if you can't tell, we are going to be talking about Zach Bagans' Demon House, and I would like to pull up...
Oh, did you hear that? Demon House.
Demon
It wasn't a
House.
cat. It was Demon House.
It definitely wasn't my cat jumping on to a box I have in my living room. So yeah, we had talked about Demon House previously for a minute, and I do think it's important to start off with this important disclaimer, which is also at the beginning of Demon House. The following documentary might not be suitable for all audiences. This film shows real people, places, and events involving alleged demonic possession. Demonologists believe that demons can attach themselves to you through other people, objects, and electronic devices. View at your own risk. And I just want to put that warning out here at a podcast level. Mm-hmm. Like this, like we're talking about Demon House. You might get a demon attached to you because we have witnessed Demon House. And electronic devices are happening. I don't understand the science.
Yeah, where in the Russian nesting doll does the transference stop? Because it's
I don't know.
Us who have watched a documentary making a podcast about that documentary about people. So
if you get haunted, it's not our fault, is what I'm saying. And that's legal. That's the law.
That's demon law.
We warned you. So you can't get mad at us if you get haunted by listening to this episode. Man, oh man. What are your thoughts let's just start out with just Ghost Adventures in general. Like, what are your thoughts on Ghost Adventures?
I used to think it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But the older I've gotten, the more it's just like, it's sort of, it's in that same boat as like Ancient Aliens, to where it's like, I thought it was funny, but then I realized it was just some guy yelling at ghosts for 30 minutes, trying to fight them.
Mm-hmm.
And now it just kind of makes me sad a little bit.
But if I'm gonna have people yelling at ghosts, I think that I want it to be like a stereotypical dude bro.
Somebody who looks like they could be on Jersey Shore.
Yeah, which is Zach Baggins.
I want Pauly D in the situation to yell at some ghosts.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the same way. I used to think it was funny, and now I'm just like, ugh. We also have, at least this is my understanding, we have different ideologies about ghosts in general.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. Friends need different ideologies, and that's fine. I don't think that Ghost Adventures is a show that makes me believe more in ghosts.
Yeah.
It definitely feels very...
I feel like...
It's something.
If there was a continuum of ghost hunting shows, one end would be Ghost Hunters, and then the other end would be Ghost Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sort of like, how dude bro-y.
And in the middle is Destination Truth.
I don't... watching... Okay, so earlier today, I finished what we hadn't watched, and the more I watched it, the more I was reminded of Destination Truth, to where it's just like, they're pretending it's science, but it's not, and he's just a dude running around yelling stuff, not necessarily being like present in the world. If that makes sense.
I think it's important to note that we did not watch all of Demon House in one sitting. We both watched it.
Too haunted.
It was too haunted. Our little hearts couldn't handle it. We watched probably 2/3 of it, I would say. About.
Yeah.
And then it was just really late, so we turned it off and like went about our lives, and then we decided to do the podcast. So I think both of us finished it today before we recorded. I would say that the second, like the bit that I watched today was more interesting than the setup that they had.
It did. It from what I remember that we watched and what I watched today, it felt like I watched two different movies.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, yeah, it was different.
Yeah. Saying or the first bit that we watched was very much like laying groundwork for like the last 20 minutes, which I think is just what they're used to editing wise as far as like when it comes to like their investigations,
Hmm.
air quote investigations.
Yeah.
Um I just they start off the movie like with these warnings and stuff like that. And they talk about how throughout this investigation of a house that Zach Baggins bought that is supposed to be like super demonic and super like it's just like attached and like ruined a bunch of people's lives. He talks about how um someone like attempted this episode, by the way, and this is just a reminder to we're gonna have to put a lot of trigger warnings on this because he talks about really sensitive topics in a pretty insensitive way.
Yeah. That was also part of the reason why I kind of wanted to stop watching it was just like he is saying some stuff about
Yeah,
mental health
that's
is
just
not
not.
great.
It's not
He's
it.
blaming
Zach
mental health
Baggins.
issues on demon possession.
Yeah. Which is just some real Renaissance level stuff.
Yeah. Well, not only mental health issues, but also like it feels like he's trying to blame poverty on the demon possession,
Yes.
which is not great either.
It's not great. But he especially because like is the house itself is in a very impoverished area.
Hmm.
Um but he talks about how like throughout the filming of this like um one of the people attempted suicide.
Hmm.
Uh a crew member quit on the spot and then they had to fire another crew member throughout like the recording of this. Um the crew member that quit on the spot is like the one area where I'm like, yeah, I probably would have too, because it like at least in the order of the movie, it happened like right after one of the subjects they had been informed that one of the subjects had like made the attempt on her life.
Hmm.
And Zach Baggins was trying to use it as a plot point, and I was like, I would quit that shit too. Like that's real fucked up.
Yeah.
And like that is when the crew member quit.
Yeah, the way it's presented makes me question some stuff.
And I was like, yeah, I stand by the crew member that quit. Like I would have too. That's
Hmm.
really messed up.
Yeah.
And I apologize for laughing. I'm not good at handling. But it, like, I understood that choice completely, and I don't think that's Demon House related. I think that that's, like, shitty person making a movie and taking it something too far reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely, to me, reads like that. Maybe not to Zach Baggins, but to me, it reads like that.
To me, and I think to most people.
I didn't want to speak for most people, but yeah, it seems like a very, like, I don't know.
You can see the logic in it that is not related to ghosts.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, that was like my biggest issue that I had with it. I was like, or maybe it's just really shitty to work on a film with you, Zach Baggins.
Yeah.
Ugh, it was rough. But the movie is kind of laid out as far as like Zach Baggins buys this house. It has a litany of demonic possession instances. And then they like go through like kind of the history of the house. And yeah, like the house had like a lot of bad things happen in it.
Mhm.
I am not going to discount that. It's in a very impoverished area.
Also, in a point that's kind of glossed over in the film, he gets like a house inspection, and the house inspector's like, yeah, there's like some bad mold up in there. People probably shouldn't go in there. And then people go in there a lot.
With no like respirators or like anything.
Yeah. It's just like,
yeah. And I think that they even said like, yeah, the mold can cause like psychological issues.
Yeah, and like hallucinations and stuff. And it's just kind of thrown in there as like a throwaway, like, yeah, the house inspector said this, so we're gonna go hunt this demon now.
Yeah. And so like go through the history, they like pull in all these people that have been affected, and like several of the people don't want to like talk about their experiences with it. But like one of the families that lived there, one of the members of the house like did commit suicide in the house. And so like I would understand that family not wanting to talk to some random white man about their history in the house.
Yeah.
Because that's not a pleasant experience, and that's not something that you would just give up to a documentary anyway.
Yeah. Especially if Zach Baggins showed up at my house, I'd be like, who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get back to the Jersey Shore, please.
But so they kind of like go through, and then like the last bit that we watched today kind of goes over like his version of an investigation and like kind of like the end of it, because they had, I don't remember who the old guy was. Was he the priest? No, he wasn't the priest.
No, he was like an investigator who had investigated on a case that was like a movie or something now.
Okay.
Who I kind of looked him up. His name was like Dr. Taff.
Yeah.
I think I'd kind of looked him up after, because in the film, spoilers, like his experiences in the house get portrayed as like causing his organs to shut down. And I kind of looked him up while I was watching it, just like, is he all right now? But yeah, it seemed like he was still around, so I don't know.
So he is not. He's still in pre-ghost form, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that investigator had a litany of health issues after the house, and then another crew member had like some really aggressive outbursts that they were blaming on the demon. That
I also tried to look up that guy to be like, what's going on here? And on IMDb, he's listed as an actor on things.
Really?
So I don't know.
That doesn't super surprise me.
Yeah. But also, I found a Reddit thread, which is a great source. And apparently he got very into like satanic stuff after the movie. So...
yeah, they touched on that. Apparently he got like 666 tattooed on both of his hands. They touched on that a little in the movie. But yeah, he had like this like big outburst in a hotel. And then I also hate the bit where he's like cut the cameras and then they keep rolling. Like that never sits well with me.
Yeah.
But they like kept rolling, and he like at one point apparently like looked at Zach Baggins and was like, "I'm coming for you," like talking as the demon. Which was interesting. And
also, supposedly he had like thrown up blood before all this. And then they were just like, well, I guess he's running around the hotel now.
Yeah, I feel like a hospital maybe should have been called. And he was acting very like, he was like, I want to go back to the house. We need to go back to the house. It was bizarre. But that led to Zach Baggins like, I'm going to spend one night in this house. And he claimed to see Goat Face Man, which is mentioned in the beginning of the film. Not great at just movie descriptions, but I do apologize. But yeah, and he I don't know. I feel like his investigation part felt very like they clipped in audio to make it more suspenseful.
Well, yeah, because at one point he hears a woman say something, but I've lived in
Hmm.
old houses before, and if somebody talks outside, you can kind of clearly hear people sometimes, and it didn't seem like that house was maybe like super insulated, probably.
Hmm.
It seemed
And
like
it
it
had a
just,
lot of windows, and he was by a back door with a window, and yeah, they were boarded up, but like,
but yeah, a board's not gonna like
no.
drown out the whole sound.
And then there was like one point where there was like bleeding, and that like a goat bleat, not bleeding.
Bleating, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't remember that part. Um, that's when he was in the house.
by
Oh, I
himself.
do
Yeah,
remember that part. Never
because
mind.
they played it twice,
Yeah.
but that sounded like they like put it in after more than like I don't know. It didn't feel like it came from the actual house. And I
Hmm.
could be wrong, and maybe that's dead proof. But it ends with Zach Baggins destroying the house.
Actually, first,
Hmm.
the demon destroys his eyes.
It does. He has like blinding pain in his eyes, and then he develops a condition that he has to wear prismatic glasses,
Yeah.
which I don't know what that is. What is that?
He says like his eyes cross and gives him double vision. I'm assuming it's like the glasses run what you see through a prism to counteract whatever.
Yeah, he develops a condition where he risks blindness if he does the surgery or wears these glasses. Um which is bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so then the house gets destroyed and but he keeps pieces of the house including buckets of dirt in a storage shelter.
Which, in my research, I found out if you go to Las Vegas, you can see that dirt in Zach Baggins' Haunted Museum
He has a haunted museum.
in Vegas.
I know where Shandy Boy Summer's taking us, Matthew.
The grand finale. Zach Baggins, don't listen to this episode that we're dunking on you in. Please let us record in your museum.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, I feel like as far as but yeah, so it ends with him like having like you see him go into this storage shelter and he puts his hands in the dirt and then I think somebody says like if you tear down the house like what demons are you unleashing upon the world kind of stuff like the house was containing them, which I don't feel like, and then it basically you see him run his hands through the dirt. He's like I said at the beginning, this is cursed, and then it fades to black. And I'm like, that's not an ending, but that's just
It's a documentary, man. It's life. Life doesn't have concise endings.
um but no, it was just a wild like what are your thoughts on the film as a whole?
It was a lot. I was when okay, so prior to you telling me about it, I knew nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we kind of watched it as like a spur of the moment thing
Yeah.
of just like, oh hey, this is on Prime, we could watch this. And then once we got into it, I was like, oh no, Zach Baggins, what are you doing? This is not this is not haunting. This is social issues that need to be
Mm-hmm.
treaded on more lightly. But yeah, I don't know. I will say like the 30 to 20 minutes I watched today were more interesting than what we watched before,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know that it was worth watching.
I would agree that I don't know that it was worth watching. My mother loves ghost shows, and so my experience with Demon House, I had never watched it, but it was one of those things where my mom, like, anytime I go home, she's like, I have this recorded, do you want to watch it with me? And then I've luckily been able to be like, nah, not today. And not because, like, I'm afraid of it, it's just, it's not usually the subject matter that I enjoy wasting my time on. So yeah, I have been able to avoid watching it, and then it was very spur of the moment when you and I were, because we actually watched New Mutants, and then we were just talking, and I was like, have you heard of Demon House? And then we found out that it was accessible, so we watched that as well. Most of it.
Yeah. I think a fun fact is Demon House and New Mutants are the same length, but somehow Demon House feels like it's 3 times longer.
It does. And I don't know, I feel like documentaries inherently feel longer than, like, cinematic written scripts, but this one felt extremely long. Like, I was very aware the entire time we were watching Demon House about what time it was. Yeah. And it was late in the evening, and I think that both of us were tired, but it was just, it, like, put, like, a dead stop in the evening, I felt like. I think Demon House is possessing my cat.
Uh-oh.
She's getting wild. And then it is important to note, I think it was when we were, what did we record before Sonic? Is that when we had the technical issues, or was it Sonic when we had the technical issues?
It was the second half of our Alien duology.
Okay. We did have technical issues that we both kind of joked about.
Just making sure I was still recording.
That's good. We did have technical issues that we, like, joked, like, oh, it's Demon House, it's coming to get us. And I'm not meaning to, like, bash on people who, like, believe heavily in this stuff. I believe in, like, ghosts and energy to some level. But this was not it. Like you said, like, he was portraying it as, like, demonic energy is plaguing an entire city when there are, like, structural and social issues that have a much bigger hand at play.
Yeah.
That need to be addressed before we start trying to play it off as demons.
And I will say, I don't believe in this stuff, but I wasn't at the house. I don't know for sure. All I know is what Zach Baggins presented to me. Maybe it was demon possession. Doesn't seem like it. But I guess it's possible. I don't know. But not likely.
Not likely. I don't know. I wouldn't watch it again. That's the thing, is, like, I feel like I've hit that age, like you touched on earlier today. Like, it used to be funny, and it used to be like, haha, let's watch this, and now it's just kind of like, oh no. Because the thing is, like, it does bring people in who, like, it brings people in who are like me, who, like, kind of do believe in this stuff. But, like, they can take it in a way that's like, oh, this is 100% real. This is 100% accurate. Like, this is, like, it's demons. Demons are ruining every facet of my life, and I think that's
not a healthy mindset to be in.
It's not a healthy mindset to be in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Demon House was wild.
Yeah, it was a lot to handle, but I watched it. I don't know if I'm a better person for have watched it, but I've seen it. I can mark it off the bucket list.
You can. Was it on your bucket list before this?
Nope, and I'm not sure it really was after, but I can mark it off.
I think Zach Baggins is very interesting as far as, my God, does that man know how to market?
Mm-hmm. He definitely understands self-branding.
Yeah.
In a very interesting way that maybe isn't the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it the best ethically? No. Is it effective? Yeah. Because I mean, like, you bring up Ghost Anywhere, and I pretty much hear, like, oh, like that Ghost Adventure shit. And you're able to, like, no, not that, da da da. But, and I think that at the end of the day, that's probably what Demon House was. Because it was actually in the news. I remember seeing the news, like, Zach Baggins bought this haunted house
mm-hmm.
in Gary, Indiana, and he's planning to, like, outside the confines of a documentary.
Yeah. Well,
like, it wasn't just, like, promo stuff.
Didn't
it was
they
like,
show, like, news footage of news reporters covering him buying the house? At the beginning? Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember the actual news stories happening. Like, I remember seeing that and, like, reading that again because my mother watches a lot of ghost stuff. But, like, so, like, it was, like, a big deal. And then they started filming the documentary. And then I remember being in the news again when Zach Baggins destroyed the house. Because, what? He bought a house and then just demolished it.
He had to get that dirt for his museum.
He did. Is the table with the crosses in it? I need to look up Zach Baggins' museum.
I don't know. It just said the dirt, but that table with the crosses was in the storage locker.
It is also interesting because he is listed as an actor.
Yeah, I tried to look up people, and it was kind of the results were iffy.
So I will say that I feel like if you're in any kind of TV show, you do have to have like SAG credentials.
Yeah.
So that could be it. And like reality stars have SAG credentials, like the Kardashians all do too.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the guy who has the episode that I looked up, he was like an actor and things. Like he was listed as like character names and not self.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, Demon House is haunting my bladder, and I need to exercise it. So
cool,
let's do a real quick demon bladder check, and I'll be right back.
Hello, welcome to the part of the podcast where Ryan quickly tries to look around for something interesting that she has in her apartment that she can talk about. Oh, I can talk about what Matthew got me for Christmas this year, even though it's June. He got me these really cute, like this set of coasters. They're wooden with like, and they're burned. It says Wood Offerman Shop. It's from Nick Offerman's Wood Shop, which I thought was really cute and fun and sweet. That's cool. I do also have a pocket knife, but I think I've talked about this one before. It is like a spring-loaded, like, assist knife. It's Kershaw Speed Safe. I have had it for a few years. It has a plastic handle with kind of like a imprinted-esque rose decal. And Matthew's back, so we're done with what's Ryan got in her house. Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back. So did we get confirmation that the table is in the museum?
I have not yet, because I picked a different avenue to go.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the documentary was like, what do I want to say? Like self-fulfilling prophecy, where it's like they weren't going in to debunk it like the ghost hunters. They were going in with the mindset, this is a demon house. We're going to find demon activity. Because, I mean, even like the doctor that they brought in, I kind of looked him up, like I said, and a lot of the things he wrote about were like aliens and ghosts, and it's like I feel like he was not an unbiased party.
Yeah. No, I definitely. Yeah, as far as documentaries go, and I know that documentaries always have a bias,
Hmm.
but I feel like documentaries at least attempt to look at both sides, and
Hmm.
I don't feel like they did that kind of research. Like things were mentioned like offhand, like you said, like the inspector.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I feel like everyone they if they had brought in somebody that was skeptical, that was like, "Oh no, this shit's haunted." I might be more inclined to believe it, but it seemed like everyone they brought in was already convinced that it was a demon house.
mhm.
But yeah.
The admission for that museum is wild.
Is it like $100?
Oh, no, it's not that wild. It's
Okay.
$48 for like general admission, but if you want the RIP all access, it's 79.
It is Vegas though, so
It is Vegas,
and
but
it's Zach Baggins, so you gotta go.
yeah. If you get the RIP all access ticket, you take your experience to the next level with the RIP all access tour. You get an exclusive badge and lanyard,
Ooh,
a haunted museum t-shirt,
ooh,
and extended access on your tour, including off-limit areas that apparently aren't that off-limit because you just have to pay for them.
yeah. So is the t-shirt haunted, or is it a t-shirt of the haunted museum? That's the big question.
I hope that the t-shirt is haunted. I also had like a mini nervous like attack because if you scroll down there's like water stains that like stay at the top of the page when you like scroll as the page goes.
Oh,
And I did think that there was something very wrong with my laptop for a second, but it's just the website.
it's just Zach Baggins,
It's just Zach Baggins goofing with me.
classic Zach
Let's
Baggins goof.
let's check out these
Yeah. What
these t-shirts.
um is there like a little teaser of what you can see at the museum? Is this just becoming a commercial for the museum? Yes.
I guess it's
Does
just
Zach
becoming.
Baggins owe us money? Yes.
um, let's see. We'll look at the about page. Matthew, there's an option for career opportunities. After this, we're gonna look up. Okay.
Ooh.
So Zach Baggins, The Haunted Museum, is Las Vegas's. I didn't know this existed, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Is Las Vegas's award-winning best attraction and
Ooh.
two-time winning best museum, as seen on Travel Channel's #1 rated series, Ghost Adventures. These are all items personally curated by Zach Baggins.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be a bone-chilling experience that blends his cursed collection with the true accounts of decades-old malevolent hauntings and rituals that once took place inside the physical space, which is the Wengert Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Good. It's tour guided and navigates through creepy winding hallways, secret passages, and over 30 themed rooms that rival scenes from Hollywood horror films containing objects like Dr. Jack Kevorkian's death van, Charles Manson's bone fragments. He died recently enough that the bone thing is a little weird.
Yeah.
When
That
did
one's not so fun.
when did Charles Manson die? Like it hasn't been that long.
At least 9 years ago. If
Um,
not more recent.
He also has the Conjuring 3 movie's real life Devil's Rocking Chair,
Mm.
Peggy the Doll, and you can come face to face with the world's most haunted object, the Dybbuk box.
The what now?
Dybbuk box? Have you never heard of that?
No.
The Dybbuk boxes are like supposed to contain a spirit, and they're supposed to be like super sealed. And there's like a trend for a while of like people like opening Dybbuk boxes. I don't know the roots of it, so I don't want to like speak too much on its behalf because I do think that it might have
some yikes.
I not yikes necessarily, but like I do want to say that it might be based on like closed practices of like older Jewish.
Okay.
And I don't know for sure, so I don't want to speak too much on it, but it's essentially so that's a little yikes too that he
has it, yeah.
Exploiting these things. It isn't your average haunted house. This is an authentic experience. The Haunted Museum is the go-to destination for paranormal thrill seekers, ghost hunters, and museum aficionados with a taste that runs ... dark.
Ooh, spooky.
Spooky. So yeah, this is where we're going on our next trip. Sorry. I've literally never had a want to go to Las Vegas, Nevada until now.
Yeah.
No, and I think the museum plays into more of the
marketing
Zach Baggins
side.
is a brand.
Definitely.
He knows what he's doing, and I think that the documentary potentially was
just a big commercial for the museum.
Not a commercial, because I didn't know about the museum, and if they mentioned it, I missed it.
I don't think he does mention it.
But it's just another thing to, like, bring his mind to the audience, and then when you hear Haunted Museum in Las Vegas, you're gonna think, oh, Zach Baggins.
So what were those career opportunities that we had?
Okay. So yes, career opportunities, because this is... Oh, they don't have any open positions right now. That's sad. It's good that they're always prepared to have open positions, though.
You never know when somebody's gonna get possessed and quit.
You never know. Man. God, we're going there. At one point, we're going. I've decided. Do you want to do a quick hydration station?
Sure.
To cleanse ourselves of potential ghosties and a hangover tomorrow?
Hydration Station. Welcome to Hydration Station, the part where we drink some water, exercise the demons, and just kind of hang out.
Water is important. It makes you feel better and human, and it makes your skin healthier, which is always a good thing. So this has been Hydration Station.
Get that healthy skin. Hydration Station.
So I think to kind of wind us down, we've talked extensively about our thoughts, but like, do you have any like final things that you would just like to say about Demon House or Zach Baggins or rebuking demons in the name of this podcast?
Yeah, I think I've said before, but it's just sort of, I wasn't there, so I can't say what happened. But to me, it seems like Zach Baggins had a story in his head, and he framed everything to fit that story. Don't watch it, not because it's haunted, but because it's just not a good movie. And yeah, do you have any final thoughts?
As someone who believes in ghosts, this movie did not make me believe more in ghosts. So I'm with Matthew, and you probably don't need to watch it. I am excited to visit the Haunted Mansion at some point in our life. But that's not because of the movie, that's just because it sounds like a good waste of time.
Yeah. Because, if we go to Vegas, I don't really have any interest in gambling, so we gotta do something.
Yeah. If we ever go to like some kind of weird mix of business conference that covers accounting and nonprofit work in Las Vegas, it could happen. People are chomping at the bit for conferences to be in person again. So if there's ever one in Vegas, we know what we're doing in our off time because, like you, I'm not one to gamble, but I will gamble on a good time at the Zach Bagans Haunted Mansion Museum.
I will gamble about $75 or whatever it
was. For that t-shirt and to go to those off-limit places.
Mm-hmm. I want to touch me some haunted objects. Feel that boy energy coming off that rocker.
Oh, there is a little fun little asterisk right here that says, if you do buy the RIP All Access, you do get to go home with a little ghost. It just follows you around until you die.
Oh.
Huh.
That's fun.
That's a fun thing. I like that they promised that. 100%. It's on the website. You can check right now. But you get a little ghost that lives with you forever and ever. Yeah. No, I think Zach Bagans is more interesting in the fact that he has built a
media empire
on ghost hunting, and I think that that's a little bit more fascinating than glossing over systemic issues and blaming it on demons.
Yeah.
We watched it. It was an hour and a half. It was a piece of media that we consumed, and I don't plan on doing it again.
I don't plan on it either.
So thank you for listening.
Mm-hmm.
This has been Rhetorical Magic Cocktail Hour. Follow us on social media at Rhetorical Magic on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me at Queer Mothra and Matthew at RMCHMatt.
Mm-hmm. Look for us at the Haunted Museum.
Look for us at the Haunted Museum. We did pack up our personal lives and just move there.
Zach Bagans doesn't know.
Not to work there.
Because there are no career opportunities at the moment.
But we are 3 weeks away from squatters' rights. By the time this airs. So shh.
Everybody be cool.
Everybody be cool.
Also leave some sandwiches because we didn't pack food.
Be good to one another. Stay healthy. Don't get haunted by ghosts. Mm-hmm. And just legally to wrap it up, we're not responsible for any ghosts that come into your life because you listened to this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what we say at the end of every episode... Boink! Hi, welcome to Rhetorical Cock. Was that hot?
No, but you just said rhetorical cock. This is a family show.
I'm so sorry. Hi, welcome to Rhetorical Magic Cocktail Hour. My name